Assalamu alaikum students. This is your accounting instructor Salare. Today we are going to continue with correction of errors not affecting the trial balance. Before we start the topic, I would request you, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe and press the bell button so that you would be able to receive our all the videos on time. All right, so we will continue with the lecture of correction of errors. In the previous lecture, we started off with the errors which are not revealed by the trial balance or which do not affect the trial balance. The first error was already completed, which was error of commission. Today, we are going to start with error of omission. What are error of omission? Guys, this error occurs when transaction has been completely omitted from the accounting record. In other words, when the transaction was occurred, the accountant neither made a debit entry nor a credit entry. As we know that every transaction has two effects, debit and credit. In this type of error, when the transaction was done, when the transaction was occurred, neither the debit entry was made nor the credit entry was made, due to which the trial balance did not affect. Let's take an example of correction of error of omission. Remember, how are you going to identify this? In your transaction, it would be written, for example, payment of wages not entered in the books. It means neither in the books on debit side, neither in the books on credit side. So at this time, you will be able to identify that this is the error of omission. Secondly, it may also be written that payment of wages completely omitted from the books, not entered in the books or completely omitted. This word will help you identify that this is the error of omission. So let's take an example. I'll give you the example here with error of omission. Get it? Now, the first transaction is, for example, payment of wages by check had been omitted from the books. Now, this time we have made the payment of wages wages expenses was paid by check through bank, but the entry was completely omitted. Neither on debit side nor on credit side it was written. Again, we will continue likewise we did in our previous lecture, that what was supposed to be the original entry. Now, when we make payments of wages by check, wages expense would be debited and bank should have been credited. Originally, wages should have been debited, banks should have been credited. But by error, what we did, neither we recorded on debit side nor on credit side. No entry was made either on debit or on credit side. So what are we going to do, guys? The same entry which was supposed to be made, we will make it as a corrected entry. So wages will again be debited because it was not actually made earlier. Wages was debited and bank will be credited here. The second example is, for example, sold goods on credit to Farrokh had been omitted from the books. It means to say we sold goods on credit to Farooq, but it was not written either on debit side, nor it was credited, or nor any entry was made on the credit side. So what was supposed to be the entry? Beta, when we sell or sold goods on credit to Farooq, to any of our customer, the customer's account would be debited, or it should have been debited, and sales should have been credited. However, by error, we did not make any entry neither on debit side nor on credit side. So the same entry will be made. Farooq would be, or Farooq's account would be debited, and sales would be credited here. Another example of error of omission is sales return from Akbar not recorded in the books. Now see, not recorded in the books, we have already identified this is an error of omission. What was supposed to be the original entry? When sales return or return inwards is from one of our customer, so sales return or return inwards should have been debited. Originally, sales return should have been debited, and Farooq's, sorry, not Farooq, Akbar's account should have been credited. But by error, we did not make any entry, neither on debit side nor on credit side. So we are going to make the entry because we had forgotten it. So sales return will be debited, and Akbar's